Deep in the swamps of the Congo, where the rivers run black and the forest has never been fully mapped, the local people tell of an animal that stops the heart of anyone who sees it. Bigger than an elephant. A long, snaking neck. A small head. A body like a hill, moving through the water. They call it Mokele-mbembe. And for over a century, explorers have gone in convinced of one extraordinary possibility, that here, in the last great unexplored swamp on Earth, a dinosaur is still alive. Tonight, on Monster Atlas, The Last Dinosaur.
Tonight, the Congo swamps, and the dinosaur that refused to die out.
Picture the animal the witnesses describe: a long neck, a small head, a heavy grey body the size of an elephant, and a long, powerful tail. To anyone who has ever walked through a museum, the resemblance is obvious. It is a sauropod, the kind of long-necked dinosaur that died out 66 million years ago.
So people are describing a literal dinosaur?
Exactly that. And the accounts are oddly consistent: an animal the size of a hippo, a neck as supple as a python, and in some tellings a single tooth. It digs caves into the riverbanks of the likouala, and feeds on a plant the locals call Emela-ntouka. And it overturns canoes, killing not for food, but for territory. Anyone who hunts it, the stories warn, simply never comes home. The heart of the legend is one thrilling idea, that a corner of Africa is so remote, a dinosaur could still be alive there, unseen, into our own time. The idea reached the West surprisingly early. In 1776, a French missionary recorded giant clawed footprints in the Congo, each the size of a frying pan. But it truly caught fire in 1909, when the German animal dealer Karl Hargenbeck announced he had heard of a beast half elephant, half dragon, in the African swamps.
Hargenbeck, the zoo man? And people believed him?
They did. Then in 1913, a German officer, Captain von Stein, compiled the first serious report. The locals described an animal called Mokele-mbembe, elephant-sized, with a long flexible neck and a single great tooth, living in the bends of the river. It was precise, sober, and utterly sincere. From that moment, the hunt was on. The 20th century turned the legend into an obsession. The modern hunt was reignited in 1976 by an American herpetologist, James P.O.W. Yule, who first heard the stories while studying crocodiles in Gabon. He drew in Roy McEwell, a respected biologist from the University of Chicago. Together, in the early 1980s, they led 2 expeditions deep into the likouala, serious scientists, staking their names on a swamp.
And did anyone ever actually see it?
Several swore they did. In 1981, Herman Regusters reached Lake Taylor and said he watched a long-necked animal cross the open water. He came back with a recording of a strange, low, booming roar. 2 years later, a Congolese biologist, Marcelin Aginanya, watched the creature for several minutes, only to find his camera set wrong, and the footage ruined.
Always, somehow, no usable proof.
Always. The Bangombe people told every team the same thing: of course it is real. And yet every expedition came home with the same haul: total conviction, and never one solid piece of proof. So could a dinosaur really be down there? Here the science is firm. Sauropods vanished 66 million years ago, and since then, not one fossil of a survivor has ever been found, anywhere. A creature that size must eat enormous amounts every day, so you would need not one survivor, but a whole breeding herd.
Then what are people seeing?
Most likely, real animals in poor light. A forest elephant swimming with its trunk raised looks just like a small head on a long neck. A rhinoceros, a great python, a half-sunk log drifting in the mist, any of them can become a monster in a frightened moment.
So it's all a mistake?
Not a mistake, the hope. It is the dream of the lost world, kept alive in the one place still big enough to be hiding a secret. Mokele-mbembe is the most famous of a whole family, the relic dinosaurs, creatures said to be prehistoric animals that never died out. Almost every continent has one. Africa is full of them. Also in the Congo is the Emela-ntouka, the killer of elephants, a horned beast like a living ceratopsian. Nearby roams the Mbielu-mbielu-mbielu, described with great plates down its back like a stegosaur. And over Zambia's rivers people fear the Congo-mbembe, a leathery flying thing out of the age of pterosaurs. The pattern goes worldwide. In North America, Lake Champlain has champ, a long neck like a surviving plesiosaur. Australia tells of the Burun jaw, a towering two-legged predator like a lost theropod. And a hidden valley in India remembered the buru, a great reptile in its lake. Even Japan has one, the long-necked creature of Lake Kedar, exactly the kind of homegrown monster our sister channel, Yokai Night, was built to explore.
So everywhere there's deep water or thick jungle, people imagine a dinosaur that stayed behind.
Everywhere. So tell us, is there a lake or a forest near you that's said to hide a monster? Can you go and look for yourself? You can, though it isn't easy. The likouala swamps and Lake Taylor remain among the hardest places on Earth to reach, a roadless maze of black water the size of a small country. Even today, well-funded expeditions and television crews keep going back and keep coming home empty-handed.
Then why does anyone still believe?
Because Africa really did once hide a large animal from science, the okapi, a striped relative of the giraffe, unknown to the outside world until 1901. So the searchers are not foolish. Their surveys keep turning up genuinely new species, just none of them dinosaurs. And that is the gift of Mokele-mbembe. Whether or not a monster waits in the swamp, the hunt has mapped rivers, recorded wildlife, and reminded us how little of our planet we have truly seen. On screen, the living dinosaur is a dream too good to give up. Disney's 1985 film Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend sent explorers into the Congo after a whole family of Mokele-mbembe. The found footage film The Dinosaur Project hunted it again in 2012. It has even joined the giants in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, a colossal titan carries its name.
And beyond the cinema?
It's a favorite of the imagination everywhere. The cryptid hunting cartoon The Secret Saturdays put it on screen for a new generation. It stalks the bestiary of the game Pathfinder and the files of the SCP Foundation, and it carried young readers into the swamp in the novel Cryptid Hunters. The dinosaur that refuses to be extinct, at least in our stories.
And that was the Mokele-mbembe, not a hoax, but a hope that the world still holds a few secrets. If you enjoyed the hunt, subscribe. And for the monsters of all Japan, visit our sister channel Yokai Night. Next time, the Cyclops. Until then, keep watching the world.